Welcome to this week's edition of Universal Parenting Clinic. On this show today, I'll be discussing a fundamental responsibility of every responsible parent. On today's topic, be ready to make sacrifices. Yes, making crucial sacrifices is a fundamental and essential requirement for effective and successful parenting if you want to avoid your home becoming a dysfunctional home. And anyone who is not willing to make sacrifices for child care has no business being involved with parenting. Sacrifice is unavoidable in parenting if you are desirous of delivering your parenting responsibilities and roles to your child. Most children who are successful in life have parents who sacrificed many things to give them hope and a better future. There may be few fortunate children who are successful despite their parents' lackadaisical attitude, but such instances are very few, compared with the millions of children whose destinies have been affected negatively due to the failure of their parents in making necessary sacrifices at different times of their growth in life. Parenting requires enormous daily sacrifices in life. Parents who are selfish and self-centered cannot undertake most of the necessary points already discussed and those that will be discussed on this program. Unconditional love is in itself an act of sacrifice which every genuine parent cannot do without. It takes sacrifices to give everything to a child. It takes enormous sacrifice to give the required time needed in parenting. It will also take a great deal of sacrifice to give up personal comforts to ensure your child enjoys necessary comfort in life. There will be days when some parents will go to bed hungry just to ensure that their children can survive with the available means the next day. There are parents who cannot afford to replace their clothes for years so that they can ensure their social, economic, and domestic responsibilities to their child is met, especially school fees and shelter. I have seen parents who sold their house and other properties, including clothing, so they could sponsor the education of their child. There are parents who have sold their cars and personal belongings to pay for medical bills of their children or to sponsor their child's trip abroad. As a matter of fact, as you go along the path of parenting, there may be several clashes of interest when you may need to forego your personal interests and desires so that the interest of your child could be achieved. There are parents who abandon their professional careers to do other less time demanding jobs so they can meet the time requirements to ensure proper care for their child. My wife and I needed to sacrifice a lot, even a bit of our professional careers and employment interchangeably at some points too, to create time for our children at different times. It wasn't convenient, and no one will tell you it's an easy thing to do, but like any other sacrifice, the joy of the pain and displeasure is in the purpose and the end result, success and happiness of your children or your child. For instance, I remember when Sweetheart had to travel to further her education. I had to practically give everything for the care and daily support of the kids, from domestic chores, bathing, cooking, feeding, change of pampers, to school runs and school works. I had to adapt the works of my law office, going to court and several other things with additional roles and sole responsibility of children care. Social outings and personal comforts were sacrificed. There will be emergency sacrifices and adaptations along the way, but despite having no prior plans, you just need to adapt. Sometimes it may be something you cherish. It may be something that is so important to you, or even something you value. I remembered when my wife and I traveled outside our country with the kids. It got to a point either of us needed to sacrifice full-time normal work to enable us adapt to school runs and babysitting, especially combining home care for our baby, kindergarten and nursery school for the others. My wife was ready to volunteer because of my court attendance and law office employment, but when I realized the stress she needed to cope with, coupled with several factors and the challenges of her securing similar job later, I decided to adapt, especially because I have multiple qualifications to get short-term employment anytime and the ability to adjust my working styles and patterns as a legal practitioner. Instead of going to court working in chambers, I settled for a role which I could do at night for the law office, going through all cases and arguments, sourcing decided cases that will fit into arguments, creating ideas of what opposing lawyers could ever come up with in their argument in court, analyzing every argument of each of the lawyers in the chamber and picking holes or confirming suitability, analytical review and analysis of pleadings and responses in defense, preparing final submissions, and ensuring cases are won. In between, during the day, for the purpose of meeting existing parenting responsibilities, I also took part-time roles with another qualification and occasional project management with another certificate, all perfectly fitted between my wife's job, babysitting, and school runs. Everything would have been better under my original job, but sacrifices were needed and they were made. It's an inevitable part of parenting for every responsible parent. Nurturing a child from infancy to maturity has several sacrifices that a parent may be positioned to make before the realization of the reputable success a child becomes in life.
This parenting clinic should be the message of the decade. Michael is parenting personified. He's so passionate about parenting, he should be named Mr. Parenting.
I've watched Michael in action and I know he's the best for the show. Michael knows everything about parenting and I'm sure everyone has much to learn about parenting.
Can't wait to start viewing
Parenting
It's the
Clinic.
programme
It's the
of the
programme of the
decade.
decade.
There are several emergency decisions parents have to make at the spur of the moment, where unplanned sacrifices are mandatory, with no visible alternatives or options. Only responsible parents are ready without looking back. I cannot but remember the several such sacrifices that my dad and mom had to bear before I became who I am today. They both labored hard to ensure we the children didn't lack proper care. I remember both of them saying they were prepared to make necessary sacrifices in life to ensure that the minimum educational standard for all of us, their children, will be university degree or its equivalent. It wasn't easy, but they achieved that. I knew what sacrifices they paid to ensure we were well fed and well accommodated at all times. It's difficult and impossible to forget what it cost my parents for us to wear proper clothes, the several pleasures and comfort they denied themselves to ensure we didn't lack certain necessities of life could never be forgotten. I also remember those parenting necessities that made my wife to quit two highly paying jobs at different times so she could take a less paying role to oversee the kids' schooling and supervision when we realized the complexities of the teens and school demands, which both required more care, support, and attention more than the few hours we had at the time. With all honesty, from experience and based on my experience on this parenting project, it is difficult to parent a child successfully without being ready for sacrifice. Sacrifices may vary depending on personality, nature of child and parent, location, parenting passion, and circumstances. Even if it is just the mere skipping of a program on TV so that your child can have the joy of watching a program where you can't afford a separate TV, that's a sacrifice based on your level. Even if it is sharing a plate of food as a family picnic or love feast together, that's sacrifice. A sacrifice is a sacrifice. Many children would have ended as big success in life only if their parents have sacrificed just a little at a time. Even as little as your time, your money, your comfort, your sleep, necessary sacrifices must be made. As a matter of fact, carrying pregnancy for 9 months is in itself an enormous sacrifice on the part of every woman. Several months of strange developments in the body, with compelling adaptations too, coupled with changes in personal outlooks, dietary requirements, change in physical attractions, change in taste and choice of clothing, change in sleeping pattern, and change in movement styles. Breastfeeding is another. There will be days when you have to stay awake to attend to your child. So also is the necessity of cooking meals and washing clothes. The truth is that there will be several days when caring for your child will necessitate series of multiple sacrifices. Parenting involves series of occasional life-changing sacrifices, and those who are not prepared to make serious sacrifices have no business venturing into it. There may be days when you already outlined your program of activities for the day, but your parenting responsibilities comes up to disrupt everything. Many carefree parents will prioritize their parties, fun, and personal comfort over and above the necessary needs of their children. But if you are truly passionate about successful parenting and you don't want your parenting future to be a failure or with tears for you and your child or children, you must be prepared to prioritize necessary needs of your child or children over some personal luxuries where the two cannot be accommodated. If, for instance, you are saddled with the choice of choosing between your holiday trips abroad and paying your child's school fees, there shouldn't be any debate before you go for the school fees. When it comes to deciding between buying that clothes to fit in among your colleagues and buying shoes for urgent replacement for your child's worn-out shoe, the choice is already made for you in parenting. If you are confronted with changing your car for a more befitting new model, which you have been saving for a while, and the challenge of sudden demand of paying for tutorials or tuition fees of your child, which may put your car on hold, you are not expected to see it as a competition or a burden, but choose wisely in the interest of your child. Times when you may need to forego buying the latest edition of a phone, a car, and several other things just to invest in a house that will provide standard shelter for your children. There will be times when you may need to avoid eating luxury food at expensive places outside so you can buy enough foodstuffs to make food available for your children at home. Days you may go hungry or deny yourself of the excess so you can meet specific parenting responsibilities. Yours may be moments when you may need to take up hours of overtime to enable you save up to meet parenting needs. What about shortening between your work and school drop-offs and pickups? There may be those occasional moments when the noise and crying of that baby may constitute an annoying headache, but you have to laugh and be happy. Moments when you must endure social economic pressures and sacrifices just for the comfort of your child or children. Let me assure you, however, that all these and several other necessary sacrifices as contributions to the growth and progress of your child won't be stressful or challenging once you have the love of that child at heart. You are committed to successful parenting and you are passionate about your child. Pushing buggies, removing pampers while your food is waiting, sucking mucus from your baby's nose, carrying the child, and sharing moments of support will be fun. As a matter of fact, putting up with and bearing with series of marital inconveniences and challenges instead of taking a walk, a painful walk, are all part of sacrifices for the future of your child in parenting. It's difficult to give a comprehensive list or full details of sacrifices you may confront in your parenting roles. I've merely stated samples of experiences of parents generally, but these are not exhaustive. Yours may be different. However, it's necessary for you as a parent to be aware that most parents in the world have played these sacrificial roles in the past, and this will continue in parenting. Please, don't deny your child unnecessarily. Make necessary sacrifices for your child, and you will receive the benefits of successful parenting, which I will share on this program on other shows and relevant topics. There are several negative and bitter experiences of several parents who refused to make necessary sacrifices in life, with tales of woes, failure, and endless tears for both children and parents. I do wish sincerely that yours would not end in sorrow and tears. Remember, a child that is not trained or catered for will end selling the house you labored to build with that money. And also remember this too, that properly cared for children ends becoming life changers for parents, especially at old age. Once again, remember this. Be prepared to make necessary sacrifices for your child or children in parenting, because from several people's experiences, those who failed to make little sacrifices for their children in life tends to struggle to make bigger and more costly sacrifices with tears when it's too late, and most times with no commensurate results. That's the show this week on Universal Parenting Clinic. I believe strongly that through this Universal Parenting Clinic, and with proper understanding of the book, Parenting Without Tears, together we all can promote wellness in families and in the world. We can stop the tears from children, parents, and families. We can kick poverty, racism, fraud, incivility, corruption, wickedness, several addictions, violence, and the series of antisocial behaviors out of all families and the whole world. And at the same time, we can promote all the positive desires and aspirations towards the well-being of the children, parents, and the world at large. Till I come your way again next week, by God's grace, I am the parenting advocate in the house, Michael Benga Bibilari, MGB, Mr. Parenting. Think parenting. Make necessary sacrifices in parenting. Talk parenting. Be passionate about parenting. Don't just be a parent. Stop portioning. Be a responsible parent, a real parent, a parent indeed. Parent well.